I'm gonna tell you exactly why it feels like you're training, you're doing everything right, and it still feels like you're not getting progress. And the reason I'm bringing up this right now is because I am comp preparing, which means that I'm on a calorie deficit and I'm in a sort of a in-between phase. I have my building phase and I have my competition phase. And now you're asking, why are you even telling me this? And that's because it is different phases that determines how well you're performing. And let me tell you, most people, including myself, we're always in the building phase. And this is where we should not expect us to always be performing. So when you're training, you're pushing your body hard, you're eating a lot for recovery purposes to have full potential for actual recovery and building strength and pushing the intensity. This also means that your relative strength, how much muscles in comparison to fat, is not always going to be like super high because we're building. And this is why we're not always seeing results, because you're gaining strength, but not necessarily always relative strength. And relative strength is basically how strong are you compared to your body weight. And that is what calisthenics is all about. Defying gravity by being stronger than your body weight is. And that's a fact. And I'm bringing up this because now when I'm on a calorie deficit, this period when I'm doing something really good for my then performance, it's absolutely hell. Like, I'm always tired. I'm eating way less, so my recovery, I try to keep up with the protein, that's what I'm focusing on, but that means that I don't have almost any carbs left and almost not any fats left either. It's like, it's only protein. But recovery is not peak, not at all. I'm always tired. My workouts are feeling so freaking heavy. But still, I'm doing this because I know that in 1 month, when this phase is over, I will have peak performance. And it's the same thing that you're probably going through when you're just building. It's the same thing that I'm always going through. When I'm building, I'm not expecting results. The same case right now. But I am expecting results when I am actually trying to get them. So when I'm peak performing, that's when I have cut down. I'm losing as much fat as possible, trying to maintain as much muscle as possible. And this leaves me with a really high muscle to fat ratio. And that's when I'm expecting to see all the results. So have that in mind, because it is crucial that when you're building, you shouldn't always expect you to always have the craziest results. Like if I'm training for planche, if I'm training for certain skills that requires a lot of strength, if I'm in a phase where I'm just building, gaining insane strength, like I see that if I'm doing weighted exercises, the weights are increasing. If I'm doing holds and stuff, maybe my form is increasing, but maybe not necessarily my holds are getting insanely long. But then as soon as you cut down during a period of time and you actually see what everything has added up to, you are gonna thank yourself. And just have that in the back of your head that everything is adding up. Yeah, so that was sort of the knowledge I wanted to share today. That it's all about different phases, and see results when you're expecting to see results, but don't expect results when you're in a different phase. So, boom, that's where we're leaving it. And more up to date, my training today is gonna be a pull session. Last week I did my first sort of comp preparation video, and I switched up my training to way more volume. I think I did a bit too much though. Like I got way too fatigued. And to be honest, like it might have been a good start to just like give it my body the worst to start off with, and then step it down from there. But today I'm gonna slightly drop down on the volume. I'm gonna be doing a bit more towards the combos that I in theory could perform. Not necessarily that this will be my combos, but more doing like front lever touch, two-way pull up to another touch and then a hold, then just repping out insane volumes, because that necessarily wouldn't be what I would do in competitions. Like I would never do 7 front lever pull-ups. Some people do it, but if I would do that, I would be gassed out and then I would be fucked for the rest of my performance. So that's not gonna be the case. So that's the idea today, to do more simulating comp combos, but still more volume than just holds that I regularly do. So that's the plan, and I think it's gonna be pretty nice. Like, I feel a bit more energized today. I did take some caffeine, and for anyone also wondering my calorie intake, remember I'm 185 centimeters, and I used to be 88 kgs before the deficit, but I'm actually only eating 1,500 calories for the first week, and the reason I'm doing this is just to put that baseline, but it is like, it's insanely harsh. Like, it's so rough. I'm always hungry, and it really sucks. But now, at least as I'm recording this, it's only 2 more days, and then I'm gonna drop it or increase it to 2,000, which is gonna be nice. And then after that, step it up with 200 calories every week. So I think that's gonna be pretty good. I'm also measuring my weight every single day to see that I'm on a linear path. And if I were to drop too quick, I would increase my calories slightly. Yeah, the main idea, to be honest, with calories is that it's really hard to know exactly a number just by looking at statistics. So what you gotta do is measure and then drag your conclusions from that. So measure your calorie intake, measure your weight, because that is the results of your intake, and then also have in account how much you're drinking, because that's a really factor for the weight. So if you drink a lot, for example, the night before, not alcohol, I mean water, or something low calorie, whatever it may be, but if you have a lot of liquids, this means that your morning weight is probably going to be way higher than what it technically is, because you have a lot of liquids in you. So I have that in account as well. But otherwise, the weight is the results of your calorie intake. So if you measure those constantly, you can sort of get a linear path and sort of an assumption of, if I continue with this phase or with this calories, where is my sort of weight heading? And then you can adjust sort of the angle of that graph. So that's what I'm doing right now. Right now it's pretty steady. I was at 85.5, I think, this morning, and that was also now it's been like 1 week, so a lot of liquids. The first week is always a bit harsh to measure, but measuring and seeing where we end up. But that is the plan. So now, no more car talk. I will see you guys inside the gym. All right, let's get started. Most likely I'm gonna get copyright as fuck, because the gym is crowded today, so I do gotta be in this corner, and we do have speakers literally here. So most likely just gonna turn off all the ads so you don't have anything to watch. But the first combo, front lever touch to front lever pull up, and then a front lever touch again. I actually haven't done this in a long time, so I don't know if I'm able to do it with a clean touch. And to be honest, since I'm doing more towards the volume, I don't care if the form is perfect, but that is the idea. And then after that last touch, I would drop down to a front lever hold. And this is not gonna be maxing out on any of them. It's gonna be roughly 3 seconds, which is the competition standards, just for me to get comfortable with those numbers and that time and attention. So let's do 1 set, and then if we need to adjust, we will do it for the second one. Not too bad. I actually felt stronger than I expected, because I am on a calorie deficit, as I mentioned in the car. Carbs super low. Maybe it's the caffeine that's kicking in right now. Adrenaline for the first 20 minutes, but towards the end we're definitely going to see the effect of the deficit. Let's just push through it, but happy with the first one. I did check the last set, and in general, pretty happy with it. The only thing was that my bum was a bit too low in almost all the holds. So the front lever touch, the pull up, and then the hold as well. So that's basically where I will put my focus for the next one. Just get the bum up, thinking almost that I should be arching with the back. So let's give it a try, see if it improves. Not too bad, felt better, but only the footage would tell. I have also put a Also put a timer on 3 minutes. So since I'm not going full to failure, I can push it to 3 minutes. And it's also a bit higher tempo, which is similar in competition more. So I think this will be better for me than the previous sessions where I just got fully drained. And now, considering the calorie deficit, I will be absolutely fucked today as well. So I think this setup is better. Yeah, that definitely looked better. Not perfect, but better. So let's do 2 more, this combination. And then after that, I think I will add some resistance band and might even add some harder variations. So I would like to get some more Victorian and one arm training in. So let's see if we can make that happen on the setups here we got. It's a bit tricky, especially with people and recording, but should be able to make it happen. One more. Gassed out. Now I'm starting to really feel it. But let's keep going. I'm gonna try to find a setup to do maybe not 4, but 2 or 3 combos with a bit harder variations and some resistance bands, or 1 resistance band. Right, I got myself the normal setup, gladly. So it's the rings, normal gymnastic rings, fastened pretty high up, and I do fasten resistance band in those. So pretty free with the space, can have parallettes or a dip bar or whatever underneath, and it works really well for assisted training. So let's start off with one arm front lever, which is a really nice move, high points competition, so definitely something I want to throw in. Haven't trained it too much, but it's also one of these skills that just, as long as I do a lot of front lever touch, front lever pull-ups, front lever holds, it at least maintains. Then some days it's actually performing really well, so might have even improved, even though I haven't trained it. But let's add it in here, start with that one, and then I'm thinking a double front lever pull-up, 2 of them, since we do have the resistance band, and then a front lever hold at the end. The last hold is not going to be 3 seconds, maybe just mark it and then done. Don't want to waste too much energy on those ones, since the priority here is the one arm. Not too bad. I did touch the floor with my feet in the transition for the front lever pull-ups. We're gonna give this 1 more attempt, and since it wasn't too heavy, I'm gonna skip the foot and just go from one arm, adjust the grip mid-air, and then do the pull-ups. See if I can still keep it up. But pretty solid, I think. Not too bad. I think that was better. Definitely mid-air switch, even though it was like tuck and then into full again, but should be pretty decent. So I'm happy with these ones. And yes, I'm only doing it on the right arm right now. This is comp preparation, so it's a really short period of time, and then I'm just gonna focus on the things I'm actually gonna do. So me training the left arm, it's not something I'm gonna do in comp. I don't wanna put my energy there. Yes, long term, it would be unsymmetrical to train that way. Especially if I do a lot of stuff with only one arm, but for the competition preparation purposes, it's definitely worth putting only the energy where it's mostly needed. So let's move on. I'm gonna do 2 sets, or 2, yeah, it's gonna be more like sets, to be honest, with just Victorian holds, and that's for the activation. So it's not gonna be combos, because it's pretty hard to do assisted on the parallettes and then do something more after. So it's only going to be holds, get those activated, because Victorian is definitely something I will do in competition. I also got to tell you that the Gore Nation winter sales are live, and there are a few personal favorites that are on sales there. One of them is the metal parallettes, which is my favorite set of parallettes that I use for literally all my sessions. Then the shirts, they actually have the Saru collection, the t-shirt I'm having right now, and also the matching shorts. They are also for sale. They have the dip belt rope, and then just a lot of other stuff as well. And on top of that, my code Simon will give you 15% off instead of 10%. It's only gonna be for this week, so if you're seeing this video after, I don't know if it was the 4th or 6th of March, then unfortunately it's too late. But if you see it before, then all of this applies. So definitely go in and check it out. I'll leave the link up here. Now, let's move on to the assisted Victorian. Oof, that is heavy, especially towards the end. And yes, now I'm having the band under the bum, which is not something I recommend, but I don't have any thick resistance band right now. And that is why I'm using this, because if I were to have it on my lower back, that would be more beneficial to have help in the center of mass, slightly better with the connection, but it would be too heavy. So I'm doing this setup for now until I get my thicker band back. I lost it at a gym, but a friend of mine has it in his bag, so at some point I should get it back. I have also been getting some questions regarding grip for Victorian, so I thought I would explain it to you. In Victorian, it's really easy to either fall inside or fall off outside, and we want to prevent it. Number one step is, of course, use some chalk or at least have bars with good grip, and try not to sweat too much. But that's the baseline. Then the second step is you want to lock your arm, so as much of the pressure as possible is going to be taken up by the bar and not on your wrist or not necessarily here on your elbow. And the way we do it is if you grab it on top, you slightly lean out with your wrists from the center of the bar, which puts the main pressure right here. If I do have it here, it is gonna be easy for me to slip in, so that's why I lock it here. The arm then will have a slight angle outside, and I wanna be able to have my elbow right on the other side of the bar. This depends slightly also how wide you're training it. But if I do this on both arms, my main pressure is going to be here on the bar. And since I'm having some pressure out here, I can control the grip so I'm not falling in. And since I do also have the weight inside here, it means that I'm not going to slip out. So this is the way we want to lock it. And then from here you hold. And in its own, Victorian is extremely hard. So when we get the grip done, it's still a lot of other stuff that needs to be in place to get it. But that's the baseline then. I did get some questions, so I hope this solves it for you. I'm done. So usually after my trainings now I do weighted pull-ups, but since comp preparation I usually do EMOS pull-ups, so that's where just way more reps and yeah, less strain, and I usually do get less fatigue the day after. However, tomorrow I'm having a freestyle session outdoors, and to be honest, I just need all the power, all the motivation I need because it's freaking cold. That's why I'm gonna skip it today. So I am, to be honest, really satisfied with the training. The first combos without any assistance, and then also the assisted ones. And I do think this sort of structure on the training is gonna be way more helpful towards the comp preparation, since it's more simulating and more clearly sort of the things I actually would do at comp. So with that being said, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao!